Sorry.
No problem, man. All right. Thank you for coming back and listening to Crackers of Milk. This is Crackers of Milk. This is your host, David. I am joined by Jacob and Ryan.
Howdy.
Here.
We are actually, for this type of season or for the next few episodes, we are actually going to be talking about movies of failed franchises. Is that how we put it?
Well, failed franchise, or that had an obvious sequel built in, but it didn't perform as well.
Yeah.
Other reasons.
Yeah.
Looks like mainly performance.
Well,
There's a few other things.
yeah, I think
There's
always
a few
other
other
things that go along with it, but yeah, it's somewhat performance.
Yeah.
Not a ton, man. Anyway.
Well, also what movie it opened against, or
The competing.
yeah.
I just looking this, doing some research. It looks like you got to kind of think of the guys who put the money in,
Yeah.
and they don't care what it's going up against. They just care about the outcome of the money.
True.
Usually.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I never thought of that.
because a lot of these that we're going to go over are from books, and the books sequels are great.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
So there's a story there already. So
Yeah.
money talks.
Definitely money does talk. All right, we will get into it. Our first movie that we are going to be talking about is Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. This came out in 2005.
April 29th, 2005.
Nice.
What day of the week was that?
Friday?
Most likely.
Back then, it was Friday. Friday, you could always guess.
Thursday,
Friday.
Wednesday these days. I don't know.
Yeah, directed by Garth Jennings.
Yeah.
And so this is one that I don't think it was its performance that why it never had a sequel, because its budget was $50 million and its box office was $104.5 million.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So,
But
what do you think went wrong?
well, what also came out in April that year was Sin City,
Okay.
Fever Pitch. Sahara came out that same month. Then Hitchhiker's Guide came back close to the end of the month, and then Triple X, Ice Cube, the Ice Cube one, Triple X, which isn't a great movie. I understand it's not a great movie, but it's like those Triple X people who like Triple X, Ice Cube.
Hey, it's a trilogy, so it did something right.
Yeah.
But then in May, so a lot of times it depends on even what else is coming out. That was Star Wars 3 came out in May that year. And then Kingdom of Heaven 2 with
That didn't do very well. Ridley Scott, Orlando Bloom, and I forget who else was attached to that.
You had Madagascar that came out that year. You had The Longest Yard with Adam Sandler that came out in May.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, and then in June, the first part of it, you had like The Sisterhood of Traveling Pants, Cinderella Man, The Lords of Dogtown, and then Mr. and Mrs. Smith came out in June. Batman Begins came out in June too. And then War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise.
Yeah, but none of those movies had singing dolphins.
No, they didn't. And that song is actually really
Thanks for the fish.
Yeah.
So long, and thanks for all the fish.
But there were other words in it that I don't know the words to, but it just made you think more and more. It's like, oh, they don't care, like humans didn't care enough about
it was,
things around.
The whole song is, hey, we tried to warn you, but you weren't listening. so long, and thanks for all the fish.
Oh, I love that part.
I don't think it was much of a competition thing. I grew up watching British comedy.
Yeah.
And so this movie I love this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got it. I just don't think as far as America.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. Because I grew up with British comedy as well, so.
Mr. Bean.
Yeah, see, like
Hello, I'm Bean.
I watched like Keeping Up with Appearances,
Yeah.
and Mr. Bean, and then Wallace and Gromit. Those are the only British ones that I saw. I didn't know that Hitchhiker's Guide was a TV series. I didn't know that. Didn't they have one?
So the BBC did do like a
BBC
TV
did?
miniseries.
Yeah.
Like, I want to say in the 80s is when they did it. And it was not good.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
Yeah.
Maybe it was good for British people.
To me, it's kind of on the same level as like Red Dwarf.
Oh, okay, yeah. I kind of know what that is.
Yeah,
a little.
I love that TV series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just the whole space theme and stuff.
So, do you think British humor or the British stuff, like, does that translate well? Because I know The Office was The Office kind of blatantly stole from The Office, the British side, but we Americanized it for sure.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Because watching those 6 episodes, you're just like, holy, the British side, it's like, wow, that's a little different. But they do copy some the first couple seasons. But do you think it because this is blatantly British, blatantly British humor and that sort of thing.
Well, it was written by a British guy, so.
Yeah. So do you think they can find success here because it's the with British humor in this sort of sense? Do you think they could read
the American public is fickle on what they like?
Yeah.
Like, do you guys remember Robbie Williams? Mm-mm. He was a British singer in the late 90s. He was in a British boy band called Take That.
Okay.
And he was the Justin Timberlake of that group, right?
Okay.
And he set to release a combination of his first 2 albums that were released in Britain, in America, and it bombed.
Oh. Okay.
But if you listen to him, he's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy Robbie Williams quite a bit, but most of America does not. So it's just weird. What's America going to like? Who knows?
Well, there's some things that America likes as far as from other countries, but I think they're pretty loyal.
Yeah.
They're a loyal fan base. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing that out there, I guess. But with this movie, I like I said, I grew up watching British comedy, so it really connected with me.
Mm-hmm.
And just like the drawn out, the thing that I think that British comedy does is it goes after one laugh and it really drags that laugh out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And it's simple.
Yeah.
But I'm a simple man, so it works for me.
So do you think the cast did really well? Do you think the acting did really well?
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Including Mos Def.
Oh,
Yes.
I love Mos Def, yeah.
Well, so Alan Rickman did the voice of Marvin.
Yeah.
But Warwick Davis was the robot.
actor.
Yeah.
And just because I paid special attention to that when I was watching it for this show,
Yeah.
and just the way he moved was so perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Very slow.
Yeah.
Depressed.
Personally, I think Marvin stole that whole show. Like, personally. The whole movie. Like, I don't know. I think he's funny.
The voice acting and then Warwick Davis.
Yeah. Yeah. All of it.
From the Willow movie.
Yes.
Love that movie too. But when I found out it was Warwick Davis, it was just because that's a pretty big costume,
Yeah.
and he's a little feller.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that was pretty tough
Yeah.
on him.
But wait, wasn't he also R2-D2?
No.
That was somebody else. Sorry. My bad.
I can't remember the actor's name.
I
Anyways,
think it was
Yeah,
Billy
yeah.
something.
Yeah.
maybe. But yeah, no, with this movie, it starts out, he's laying on the ground.
Yeah.
Was it his house?
His house was getting demolished.
His house was getting demolished, which is kind of a symbol of what's going to happen to Earth.
Exactly.
It's in the basement.
And I really like Martin Freeman as an actor.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
he's great. He did great as Bilbo Baggins.
Yep.
As a Hobbit. And I think, is he in The Office?
He's in the British one, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does a great job there.
And he's Watson to Benedict Cumberbatch's
yeah.
Sherlock.
And he does a great job doing that. He's also, he makes a cameo in Shaun of the Dead.
Yes, he does.
Little cameo.
A little bit. I love Shaun of the Dead. That's a great movie, too. But when his friend... Mostaf.
I don't know.
Ford Perfect.
Ford Perfect.
Yes,
or
Ford.
Prefect.
Yeah, sorry.
Because he was named after a car. You kidding me? You're named after a car and your parents choose Ford Prefect?
No, he chose that.
He chose, that's his name, that's his
Yeah.
chosen.
Well, in the book, because he came over here and he chose Ford Prefect,
Okay.
Because he thought cars were...
the dominant species.
Yeah,
That's right. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
yeah, that's how he met Arthur Dent.
Arthur Dent. That's
Arthur Dent saved him because he was walking up to
fantastic.
a car that was cruising down the road.
Yeah.
Tried to shake its hand.
yeah, that's right. Yeah. Now I remember. Oh my gosh. And then he always carries around a towel.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Very important, the towel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I read the books, but I can't remember why the towel is important at all.
Every
The
hitchhiker
movie
needs one.
doesn't do a very good job of explaining that.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've read the book, so I can't remember
I'm gonna have to
off the top of my
I'm gonna
head.
have to re-listen or reread them.
Well, it's just got multiple uses.
Well, yeah, I know. I was just kind of wondering. I can't remember why.
It's British comedy.
Yeah.
What else would be a better tool than traveling the galaxy than a towel?
That's true. It does help. It's everything.
I mean, honestly, American, comedy wouldn't. What? I don't get it.
I don't get the towel.
Yeah.
But what's more useless than a towel?
But what's more useful?
Exactly.
The towel, yeah.
At the end of the movie, though, the Ford chases off the Vogons with his towel. Oh no, he's got a towel!
Run away!
Run away!
My favorite of all the accents are just the slower. Hey, he's got a towel. Run, everybody, run!
Yes.
I also love all the names in this movie. I thought,
Oh, so that's I tried to write them all down,
do it.
and there is just so many of them.
Like, what do you mean names? What are you thinking about names? I don't know. I don't understand that. Just kind of wondering.
So, Sam Rockwell,
It's funny.
Yeah.
He's funny as Zaphod.
Zaphod,
Zaphod. What?
Zaphod Beeblebrox.
Beeblebrox, yeah.
Beeblebrox. Zaphoid. I think they say
I thought it
Zaphoid
was
in the movie.
Zaphoid.
Zaphoid Beeblebrox as the president
Yeah.
of the galaxy.
Who beat?
But then they slang it down to Zaphod, right?
I think so.
Like some of them. I don't know. Some of them say Zaphod,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then, what's the engineer's name? Do you have that written down?
The engineer.
What engineer?
The guy who makes the planets.
Oh,
Bill
Slurry.
Nike.
no,
Yeah.
that's the guy who plays it, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the name
What's
is Slart Bart Fart or something like that.
Let me find it real quick.
Well,
It's awesome. Slarty Bart Fast. Slarty Bart Fast.
and he's like,
But I think didn't he say like your human tongue can't say my name?
no, he's like, the name isn't important.
my name is not important.
Oh, that's right.
Then
Yeah.
he says it, and he's like he's trying to get Arthur on the thing. He's like, well, like something about like, I won't trust the man who won't tell me his name. He's like, it's Slurry Bart.
So,
Yeah.
if you were to look at pictures of everybody who was in it and did
Yeah.
voices, you'd be like, "Oh, him! Oh, her!" So, like Richard
big cast.
Griffiths was the president of the Vogons,
Yeah.
who reads the poetry to him.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
And
That
then
poetry's so weird.
There's so many levels to this movie.
But see, you know what I like about it too is like, the explanation of when they do the poetry, And then they like do a cut to the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy explaining never let them do it. And then like explaining like one guy where he like the only way he survived is like he cut off his arm or something like that.
Well, I thought it was
so
funny that it's just the third worst poetry.
Third worst.
The worst was, I forget,
it was a human,
was a human one,
on Earth.
But luckily it was destroyed when the Earth was destroyed.
Yeah.
So funny.
Well, that's why I love this movie, because there's just it's super deep comedy.
Yeah.
And there's levels to the comedy.
Yes.
It's not just a certain like somebody's just farting.
Yeah.
There's something to that fart.
Yeah.
And there's a reason that I go off on farting, but there's a reason and a purpose for it.
Yeah. So like the whole movie is Zaphod trying to get to Magnathea to ask deep thought, played by Helen Mirren.
Yeah.
You know, what's the question? And he's so stupid he doesn't realize that she designed another computer, which was a planet that he signed an order to destroy.
Look how many levels there are, folks.
It's so funny. And then he like you see the signed order and it's like loving kisses Zaphod.
Listen, if you're gonna watch this movie and you like movies like, and I like this, I like Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore and stuff like that, Ace Ventura. Yeah. But if you like those movies and only those kinds of movies, don't want to have to think about the joke, this isn't your movie.
No, it's
not at all.
Now, I'm not saying that it's a thinker, but
it's not. But to get all of the jokes, you do need to think a little.
Yeah. And you have to like connect. Like there's something like they're joke. Not having a lazy thing, but you have to connect some of them.
Yeah. Well, there's a joke at the end of the movie from a little tidbit the first of the movie.
Yeah.
You know, it's all, like I said, it's multi-leveled.
Yeah.
And it's so funny.
It's and then one thing while we were doing it, the Vogon, just an observation, the Vogons.
Yeah.
I was reminded of stormtroopers because they're the worst shots.
Yeah.
Like they have like how many bullets are whizzing past them at the house.
Yeah.
And one accidentally
Marvin's like, why are you guys running? Everybody knows that Vogons are the worst shot in the galaxy. They get shot in the head. And the ultimate gun that Deep Thought made.
Yeah,
that doesn't work on women.
Yeah.
What is it? What is that called?
The point of view.
The point of view gun. Yes. I thought that was so funny. And then like when Marvin did it, he gets that whole thing up.
Yeah.
And like
I'm so depressed.
And Alan Rickman he does such a great job on that voice. But how about when they're on the ship, when the doors open and it makes a noise?
It's like he asked the computer if he hates him or something. He's like, yeah, the computer hates me.
No, I talked to the computer. I'm pretty sure he hates me.
He's pretty sure he hates me.
Yeah, so Thomas Lemon does the voice of Eddie the computer.
Yeah.
And just such a good job, and just so happy-go-lucky, and
then when they do the normality one, like when they're trying to go to Magnathea, they get there and then like they're not normal yet with the hyperspace thing, and then he hits it again, and one turns to a sperm well.
Improbability drive.
The probability drive.
Yeah, and the Bulla Petunias that says, "Oh no, not again."
then they said, "Well, if you found out why it said that, like,
Hama Kavula, I hate Hama Kavula."
I thought he was just swearing."
Yeah. John Malkovich is Hama Kavula.
Great job by John Malkovich.
That whole church about they feared that it was sneezed out of. Their existence was sneezed out of somebody's nose, and they're worried about the great white tissue coming to wipe them away.
Yeah.
They end their prayer with "Achoo!"
Achoo.
I liked how that planet, like the creatures made aerosol before the wheel. Like an aerosol can before the wheel.
I invented that.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
it's
funny.
there's when I first watched the movie, he's the only one I knew.
Who?
Malkovich, John Malkovich.
Oh, really?
He's really the only one I really knew.
Yeah.
Because Zoe Deschanel was still pretty young.
She was still pretty new.
young, yeah.
And Sam Rockwell, I didn't know him much from other movies.
Well, I think he did Green Mile, but I don't know if it was before that.
Well, it was just
Alan Rickman was kind of him and John Malkovich were like
the big ones.
kind of
for me.
kind of the headliners.
Yeah.
Sort of.
You would have to say them.
What do they call it? That top bill?
Yeah.
I don't know, but everybody else. I was as far as because a lot of these actors are pretty prominent
Now.
Yeah.
Totally.
So
Mos Def would probably be the only one that isn't massively prominent, but
he did a great job in the movie. Though.
He did, but he's the only one that I would say that was less prominent than all the other ones.
Yeah.
I love how the improbability drive turns him into yarn.
Oh yeah,
Yarn and then couches.
He throws up all the yarn.
Yeah.
So funny.
And then they turn back normal.
Yeah, they switch over
and
to
he's
normal.
still pulling yarn out of his mouth.
And then the third time that they did it, were they flowers? Because they only showed a little bit where like it went away with the eyes.
I recall that. Yeah, I think so because it was towards the end of the movie.
Yeah,
right? And it was like a very short part of it. But yeah, what a funny thing that ship was kind of goofy looking.
Oh yes, it was.
And what was when they were on that planet where they would think about something and they get slapped in the face?
Oh yeah, it's the Vogon home planet.
Yeah, that's the Vogon home planet, and the president has his thinking cap on, and it runs off of lemon juice.
Lemon juice, yeah.
I'm telling you guys, these are just multi-level jokes.
Yeah, and he takes Marvin's arm and he's pretending to gun. They storm in, and the Vogon's like, "What? A robot arm repair shop?"
And then they're trying to get her out of
the
jail, or
she's getting fed because she kidnapped
she's going to be
the
executed,
president.
right? Yeah. It's like going through the DMV, basically.
Yeah, and they use Zaphod's celebrity to get at the front of the line, and they don't have the right form, so they make everybody wait. Well, like that's one of my favorite lines from the whole thing. Is the start of it? It's like, "I'm British. I know how to queue."
Yeah.
I use that line quite often. I'm a descendant of British people. I know how to queue.
But like they used his celebrity, but like one thing that Ford Prefect said that if you read the books you realize, because he said, "Oh, the president has no power. You're just there. You're not there for anything else." And then like Zaphod's like, like in front of everybody.
He's basically a celebrity.
Yeah, more of a celebrity than anything.
What was the thing? The plot with the Earth, like it was just in the way because they're building.
So they were building a hyperspace spyway,
Yeah.
much like Arthur Dent's home. They were building a
right.
leeway.
Yeah.
It's been on City Hall. It's been on the display in City Hall for 6 months.
It was in a cellar.
And then when the Vogons show up, and it's like, none of you guys have reason to complain. The plans have been on, display in Alpha Centauri for
50 of your Earth years.
It's so good.
Okay.
I don't know why this didn't have a sequel.
Well, let me ask, with the ending, do you think it was a good opening for a second movie?
Yes.
Why do you say that?
Well, so if you like the movie, wouldn't you want to see what other crazy stuff is in the universe? On the other side of the universe?
In this universe, yes. This movie's universe, yes.
Yes. Because there's a really good restaurant at the other side of the galaxy. Oh, hey guys, just so you know, the restaurant's on the other side of the galaxy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Now, if you didn't know there was a book, another book, then you'd be like, well, okay, that's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
That's what I thought when I watched. Like, I know that there's another book.
Yeah.
But like the only thing that at the end of the movie that helped me think, okay, there could be another thing, is having Zaphod go back for his head. Why does he need to go back for his head? And I understand with the book and the overall thing that they're trying to do, from what I remember with the book, is that they're trying to overthrow the government or, that sort of thing. But that's what I see from the book. But like watching that ending of the movie, it was like, okay, let's go to a restaurant at the end of the universe. Make sure you have your towel. Zaphod's head. That's it. It's like, well, why would I want to go? What? Those are the only two things that I thought.
Yeah, but
I think it's a great movie. I'm just saying, like, I don't know if that was drive enough to get another movie done.
Well, the thing is why'd they even make the first one then?
Yeah, I don't know. I think they did a great job.
Yeah, I'm sure there was hopes of making a second one, but they did make enough money to be able to justify a second one. So,
yeah, to build upon it.
I don't know. Maybe the writers weren't into it.
Oh.
That has been the hardest one. Like, I loved Stephen Fry's narration, the narrator.
Oh, yes.
Overall, he did a great job. They did a great job with the explaining the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yes.
The book.
Yes.
I like that word. They talked about how it's the best-selling one, and then they talked about other books, and those books would have been interesting to learn more about, and that I could see that, but I don't know if that would be a driving force for somebody else to watch that.
Another thing I liked about the movie is that it was those Vogons were actually there because it was Jim Henson's puppet company who made them. I like when stuff is not CGI all the time.
Yeah, and I think there's some to it. Like, you have Lord of the Rings, just a little comparing. You have Lord of the Rings, the first series, and then you have The Hobbit, where a lot of it was CGI, and then Lord of the Rings wasn't.
Yeah.
And the Lord of the Rings series was so much better than the Hobbit series. And so, like, I would agree with you on that, where the CGI kind of gets to you at certain points. Yeah. Anyways.
So all 5 books were mentioned in that movie.
They were?
Yep.
End of the restaurant.
Restaurant at the end of the universe. Life, the universe, and everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So long, and thanks for all the fish.
Yeah.
And mostly harmless.
Oh, did they mention that? Mm-hmm. Like when they were explaining Earth? I know that was when they were...
No, that was it's in the deleted scenes on the DVD.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Because I know that's what they say in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, that Earth is mostly harmless.
So there's a deleted scene in which Arthur Dent looks up Earth, and all it says is mostly harmless.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I get that. I did like they did the last scene, right? Did you guys see the very, very last scene with the invading force? They were having a war. Like, people were something about what he's like, yeah, let's go to the restaurant. They come and splatters on the negotiation. And then, like,
I guess I didn't see that.
Oh, yeah, that part's, like, funny. It's like, I think it's like you have to watch the whole thing and then at the end. Like,
so after the credits. It's not mid-credit or...
No, it's not mid-credit. I thought that was funny.
Well,
I thought that was really funny.
This was kind of before all of that post-credit.
Yeah, stuff. A little bit. Well, 05?
Yeah.
When was Pirates out? 03?
Yeah, but...
That's when it became, like, big.
Everybody
copied them,
it came from the Marvel Universe, didn't it?
No,
that's when it got
Pirates.
Pirates a little bit, but not.
I think that was,
actually,
from what I remember, that was the first one.
A few movies from the 80s had it.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but what made it popular, though?
John Hughes.
No.
Marvel movies.
Marvel did.
But, like, I feel like it started with Pirates.
Do you think it was Pirates?
I think it started with Pirates, and then Marvel took it, because Marvel just kind of took it.
What was the Pirates one?
It was the monkey one,
where
he gets... At the end, he gets the monkey gets a coin, and then he goes back to
the skeleton.
That's the only thing that I remember that one.
And then everybody sat around for the the second one.
Yeah.
And it's just the dog on
Sitting
the throne.
with the key. Stupid.
No, not with the key.
Not with the key. Oh,
it was the island that Jack was the
he was going to be the human sacrifice.
Yeah, and so it was the dog with the crown on it. Oh my gosh, that was awesome. Well, anyways, Hitchhiker's Guide.
The other thing, one thing that I thought too while I was watching it was I thought of the Unfortunate series from Netflix. And I thought, they could really do this now a little bit better. But because Rickman's gone, I don't know. Because Rickman, you have to have a very depressed type of voice. And Rickman did a great job with that. And I don't know who would do a good job, but
I'm sure there's somebody out there because, let's see how Will Smith does as
the genie.
Replacing the irreplaceable Robin Williams.
Have you guys seen the Lost in Space series on Netflix?
We have not. Well, I haven't. I can't speak for Dave.
Dr. Smith is a woman.
Okay.
And it works just fine.
All right.
So trying to find somebody to replace Alan Rickman, you're not going to find somebody.
No.
But if you can find somebody to do their own thing.
Do a good job. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But would it be a valid thing to have them do a series on it? Or no? Based
on the production that Netflix has put into their own shows, I would say, I would like to see what they could do.
Yeah. Well, it could be Netflix, it could be Hulu, it could be
I
Amazon.
Don't have Hulu
I know, but
I want Netflix.
Netflix would do it, but I think there could be other people, other studios that could do that, personally speaking. Okay, is there anything else you guys would like to... Is there anything else that we need to talk about from this movie?
I would like some more of it.
So you would say
my
yes,
vote.
It would be...
Yeah.
You would want more.
So, do we wish there was another sequel? Let's take a vote. Ryan's a yes. I'm a yes.
I think it would be funny. I don't know if people would want it, but I would want one. If they did it, I would watch it. If they did one, I would totally watch it. Totally. So, yeah, we have 3 yeses on this one.
All right.
I think.
So, Hollywood, get to it.
Here on the clock.
3 guys with useless facts and trivia in our brains.
Yes.
Demand that you give us a sequel.
You've got the money. Do it.
We don't, so...
Give me the money and I'll do it.
Yeah, if anybody out there wants to sponsor us, yeah.
Do you think Garth Jennings did a good directing job? Just wondering.
I think it feels nice.
I think that plays a part in this one, but it also plays a part in the other ones that we're going to talk about. I think the direction is pretty important.
Of course, yeah. That makes or breaks movies usually.
Yeah.
You have to have somebody that can put a story together and have the right crew.
Yeah.
And I think you did just a fantastic job.
I agree. Okay, sweet. Hey. Oh, go ahead.
So long, and thanks for all the fish.
I think that's a good way to end. So please subscribe, rate, and have fun. Thank you so much, and we will talk with you later.